My name is Aaron, and I grew up in the world of metal. In fact, it's the only thing I ever really cared about in terms of music. But you know what, recently, I've wanted something a little bit different. Okay, of course, we're going to start this off again with saying, Happy birthday, RM. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. Go wish him happy birthday where and when you can. And of course, we are moving on to Forever Rain. Should be pretty awesome. That last song was. So let's check it out, shall we?
하루 종일 비가 왔으면 좋겠어. 누가 나 대신에 좀 울어줬으면 해서. 종일 비가 왔으면 좋겠어. 그럼 사람들이 날 쳐다보질 않았어. 우산이 슬픈 얼굴 가려주니까 빗속에선 사람들도 저마다 바쁘니까 좀만 느리게 숨 쉴래. 평소엔 내 삶도 내 랩도 너무 빠르니까 지금 모든 게 저 위치로 하늘에 나의 그림자가 비치고 난 어둠을 딛고 서 있어. 고개를 밑으로 내 발 뒤꿈치로. Slow rap, slow jam, slow rain, everything slow. Slow rap, slow jam, slow rain, everything slow. Forever rain. 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 비가 오면 조금은 나 친구가 있다는 기분이 들어. 자꾸 내 창문들을 두드려 잘 지내냐면서 안부를 물어. And I answer 난 여전히 삶의 인질. 죽지 못해 살진 않지만 뭔가에 묶여있지. 나도 너처럼 어딘가 두드릴 수만 있다면 온 세상에 진하게 입 맞출 수 있다면 그 누군가 나를 맞아줄까. 내 고된 몸을 어쩜 받아줄까. 제발 아무것도 묻지마. 그냥 영원히 내려줘. 네가 내리면 외롭지 않아. 너라도 내 곁에 있어줘. 잿빛 세상에서 살고 싶어. 영원 따위 없는 걸 알고 있어. Slow rap, slow jam, slow rain, everything slow. When it rains it pours. When it rains it pours. It pours. Forever rain. Forever rain. Forever rain. Forever rain. Forever rain. Forever rain. Forever rain.
Interesting. Okay, there is a lot of symbolism in this, and I want to get over some of it. And actually, the part that I want to start at most is right here. I really, really particularly like this section. My shadows reflected on the sky. I'm standing on the darkness. Head down to my heels.
Yeah, slow rap, slow jam, slow rain, everything slow. Slow rap, slow jam, slow rain, everything slow.
Okay, so one is talking about this particular section right here, where he says, now everything goes back to its place. My shadows reflected on the sky. And then it goes right here to I'm standing in darkness. And, I think it's kind of interesting. A lot of times when I've read from things or heard in things where it talks about, like, even in the, darkest of shadows, I can still see my reflection. It's definitely more of an introspective, personal look. But I think a lot of times, too, it's kind of like a idea of how sometimes even our deepest, lowest moments can have such a dark stain that a lot of times it can actually force us to think in that way. And I like the idea of how he says my reflections in the sky. To me, it's almost as if he's like descended below, the rain kind of thing. And the rain probably meaning life or maybe problems or maybe depression or, slash enter whatever fits your bill. And to me, I actually I associate this more with depression and probably just having a hard time dealing with the things of life. So I think the other thing that's really interesting is actually the lyrics right here.
Yeah, slow rap, slow jam, slow rain, everything slow. Slow rap, slow jam, slow rain, everything slow.
So this right here, to me, really symbolizes almost like a clock. He's staring down into his own reflections, and obviously at that point, if you're looking head on, this would be midnight, and this would be 6 o'clock. And that tells me that maybe another thing that he thinks about a lot, at least around the time when he was writing this, was the passage of time and dealing with things such as understanding that you're getting older and understanding what that means and understanding that, there's a lot that comes with getting older, and sometimes you have to put some things away and sometimes you have to pick some things up. But I think the more interesting detail about this is that there's an actual perfect reflection of him underneath. That's also would be about 8 o'clock. And I think that that's kind of an interesting little detail because none of the other ones pull that same kind of look, but that does. And to me, I think that that's kind of another part of reflecting on time. Oh, yes. Another thing that I wanted to say too was one thing I absolutely love is it kind of seems like to him he's talking about how everything has always been so fast paced, because he talks about like how his raps were always fast and all those other things. And I kind of wonder if perhaps if that means that he's reflecting on the fact that because everything's so fast and people want him to slow down, if that also has some sort of connection. I don't know. I'm trying to think about this and going in a blind kind of sense, and this is just kind of what it's saying to me. Let's move forward just a little bit here.
비가 오면 조금은 나 친구가 있다는 기분이 들어 자꾸 내 창문들을 두드려 잘 지내냐면서 안부를 물어 And I answer 난 여전히 삶의 인질 죽지 못해 살진 않지만 뭔가에 묶여있지 나도 너처럼 어딘가 두드릴 수만 있다면 온 세상에 진하게 입만
I think there's a lot going on here. First and foremost, Let's break this down a little bit, shall we? It says, ask, when it rains,
나 친구가
I
있다는
get a little feeling that I do have a friend.
기분이 들어 자꾸 내 창문들을
Keeps knocking on my windows,
두드려 잘 지내냐면서 안부를 물어
asks me if I'm doing well, and I answer, I'm still a hostage of life. And, you know, I think that this is the feeling like his soul almost is like reaching out and kind of like hoping that he gets a response from something or someone.
And I answer 난 여전히 삶의 인질 죽지 못해 살진 않지만 뭔가에 묶여있지
But I'm chained to something.
나도 너처럼
Just like you, if I could,
어딘가 두드릴 수만
just knock on somewhere.
있다면 온 세상에 지
And I think the interesting thing is about that is it's almost like he's saying right there, you could knock anywhere and realize that somebody needs help like this.
나게 입 맞출 수 있다면 그 누군가 나를 맞아줄까 내 고된 몸을 어쩜 받아줄까
And maybe I really like that right there. Would someone welcome me?
내 고된 몸을
Maybe embrace my weary body.
어쩜 받아줄까 제발 아무것도
Please don't ask any questions.
묻지마 그냥 영원히 내려줘
But do keep pouring forever.
그냥 영원히 내려줘 네가 내리면 외롭지
I'm not lonely when you're pouring.
않아 너라도 내 곁에 있어줘 잿빛 세상에서 살고 싶
I think to me, this is kind of an interesting thought because the idea of like the rain being your friend and also using it to like hide and what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like, oh man. Basically hide behind the rain because it washes out everything. I just like the idea of perhaps that he's thinking of, what's the word I'm thinking of? That this person would be able to act as if they were the rain, if that makes sense.
싶어 영원 따위 없는 걸 알고 있어
I know there's no forever. That kind of goes back to the whole time thing.
Slow rap, slow jam, slow rain
I just really think that there's a lot going on here. When it rains, it pours forever rain. And I think that another thing that's important about this is just acknowledging that probably at some point all of us have had similar problems and feelings to this. And I think that it's important to recognize that this happens and to allow yourself to go through it. I think that's another thing that he's really trying to say in this too. I think there's a lot that can be said for this. So anyway, that's what I got out of it. Let me know what you all think about this. I really, really liked the symbolism behind this. I really like the fact that, like, for example, all the people were faceless. Kind of just gives it that this is an everybody kind of problem. Really cool. So anyway, again, happy birthday to RM. I hope that you have a lovely day. And if you haven't yet, go seek him out. Leave him a nice message. And we will see you next time. Happy birthday!